Per multiple requests, let's take a look at the Starcom toys I have, all of which I think were released in 1986. I had briefly showcased what I have way back in one of my Misfit Toys videos when I first got on TikTok, but that was a really brief overview of what the line was, so let's take a little bit of a closer look. So Starcom was a toy line put out by Coleco and actually put out in association with NASA. On paper, it seemed like it would be a home run back in the 80s. You have a line of cool little 2-inch figures with magnets on their feet, and I'll show you what that's about. A line of vehicles and play sets, and the vehicles having some really cool auto-transforming wind-up features with a cartoon to boot. But through just having way too much competition and a few missteps in marketing, this toy line flopped, unfortunately. And that is a shame, because there really is a lot of fun things happening here. The good guys were called Starcom and the bad guys were called Shadow Force. This is Rusty Caldwell, who's one of the good guys. They have these teeny tiny visors that, of course, got lost very easily. Hence the other figure I have is missing his. And the magnets on the bottom of the feet of the figures had two purposes. Starcom and Shadow Force do battle in space, so being able to walk on surfaces and not float off is a good thing. And what's really cool is that there are features in the playsets and the vehicles that are activated by the magnets. And this is the Starcom Starbase station. The elevator is also supposed to activate and elevate when you put one of the figures on there, but that mechanism on this particular playset is busted, unfortunately. That was called the Battle Crane. He has a magnet underneath, so he can transport cargo. A few guns up front can be flipped out, and if you push this button, something is supposed to happen. It got stuck, but if you push that button, these two turbines flip out. And then if you push this one, it opens up the cockpit and actually extends the whole thing out so a figure can fit in there. Oh, there's magnets in there too. Then we have the HARV7, the HARV7, and you push this down for battle mode. And lastly, and my favorite of what I do have right now, this is the Shadow Raider, bad guy vehicle, which is a very sleek, stylish tank. The cockpit is spring-loaded, and he does have a really fun battle mode. That is what I have for Starcom right now, but it's a really fun toy line that I plan to get more of in the future. Back over to Starcom, we're going to take a look at the Shadow Vampire, and thanks to my buddy Bobby that I met through TikTok, we also are going to take a look at Emperor Dark, who, yes, is the main bad guy of the Starcom line, the toys and the cartoon, but this guy was a mail-away exclusive. You could not get him in stores, so he is a very special addition to any Starcom collection. I appreciate this so much, Bobby. Thank you. And he is a stylish boy. That haircut is second to none. And he does come with a jacket slash cape made of that same very thin plastic that were on the original Star Wars toys, like Darth Vader and Obi-Wan, with a cool chest plate underneath there. Same articulation as the other Starcom figures, and he does have his magnets on his feet. He comes with a staff here, which fits snugly right there. He's a goofy looking guy, but he's got presence. Then on to the Shadow Vampire, which is a very cool looking spaceship. A Shadow Force spaceship, if that wasn't obvious. All the bad guys had cooler vehicles in Starcom, kind of like G.I. Joe. There are twin cockpits on this guy. One switch opens up that one. This switch here opens up the other. This vehicle came with a figure called Captain Mace, who I don't have, unfortunately. On the front here, there are 2 hidden compartments that swing open to reveal more missiles. Sadly, the one thing busted on mine here is that I believe if you turn this, it's supposed to wind up a mechanism that makes these 2 turret guns kind of shimmy back and forth. But no matter, the coolest thing about this is that it has a teeny tiny handle under here with a trigger, which when you pull up, turns the turbines horizontally, so you can start flying left, right, or wherever. Releasing the trigger has the turbines go back to vertical mode for landing and takeoff. This is another vehicle in the Starcom line that just makes me feel like I need to keep going and getting more. Back over to Starcom, let's take a look at the Shadow Bat. And when you're reviewing this, you have to look at this as well. This is the Shadow Parasite, both released in 1986. And the more Starcom vehicles I get, the more I fall in love with this toy line. And Starcom was something I didn't even know existed when I was a kid. And looking back, that is a shame because I think I would have had a blast with these. So as far as I know, the Shadow Bat here is the largest vehicle in the Starcom line. It's definitely the largest bad guy vehicle, and totally tracks with what I've said previously, which is the bad guys in the 80s always got better vehicles. This vehicle has dual cockpits. A button on either side opens one of them, that one for the front, and no, which one opens the back? Ah, it does work. It also has a button on either side, on either wing, and when you push them, you release another cannon on either side. I think this one is stuck. I gotta fix that. Turn it around back, you've got thrusters back there, and this is the button that activates the main play gimmick of this vehicle. And then you would load one of the smaller bad guy wheeled vehicles in there, and he could roll on out of this kind of cargo bay area. And just like all the Starcom vehicles, there are magnetic ports all over it. So you could add a bunch of figures in a lot of different places. Now, I did say you have to review the Shadow Parasite with the Shadow Bat, and the reason is that there are 2 big triangular ports on top of the Shadow Bat where you can dock the Shadow Parasite. And I do believe these guys were sold separately, which is a smart, interesting way to get some more money, because if you purchase this, you have to get 2 Shadow Parasites, don't you? Yes, this vehicle by itself looks kind of complete, but once you know what these docking stations are for, you gotta go out and buy 2 of these. Even though I do admit to having impulse control problems with my purchasing, I am really tempted to go out and buy another one of these guys like right now. And on top of that, the Shadow Parasite is a really cool little vehicle by itself. One little button on this side opens the cockpit, and the other button transforms it into sort of its attack mode. How can you not love this toy line? And that is a quick look at the Shadow Bat and Shadow Parasite.
There it is. Magnum. Holy moly.
Yeah, baby! That's what I've been waiting for!
Dear God, it's beautiful.